As the governor prepares to give his final State of the State address on the first day of the legislative session, Oklahomans gather on the Capitol steps to say no more. As a retired veteran named Candace J. said, no more pretending that injustice is neutral just because it's dressed up in procedure. No more begging for rights we were born with. For U Central News, I'm Phil Rodriguez. Shh, it's a secret. Behind me in this beautiful Airstream trailer is Super Secret Donuts, owned by Hawaii transplant Milton Perry, who is the head chef, owner, and proprietor of this wonderful business that makes gourmet donuts with a brioche dough base that absolutely melts in your mouth. He's got all kinds of unusual flavors, from garlic sesame, fig cheese and pear, to sort of more standard pairings like a strawberry crunch or a salted caramel donut that is just unbelievable. We drove all the way up here to Tulsa just to try it. It is more than worth the trip and more than worth waking up for. If you want to try these amazing donuts, come on up to the Mother Road Market, find the Airstream in the back, tell Milton that Phil sent you. For U Central News, I'm Phil Rodriguez. It's a unique and fevered atmosphere when you attend UCO-OU hockey. Whether you call it Bedlam or the battle for I-35, there's no doubt that these teams feel like they have a lot to prove against one another. It was a tough weekend for the Broncos, however, as they dropped both games to their in-state rival, Oklahoma. But they should get another crack at them during the Western Collegiate Hockey League Championship playoff, which will happen in March in Missouri. For U Central News, I'm Phil Rodriguez.
Thanks, Zach. Great stuff. The Oklahoma Senate has rejected a bill that would have required more transparency and oversight from the Oklahoma Secondary School Activities Association, the group that oversees high school sports and activities across the state. Senate Bill 2005 failed in the Senate Education Committee on a 6-4 vote at the state capitol. The proposal would have required the association to follow state open records and open meeting laws, complete annual financial audits, and change how its governing board is appointed. The vote comes after Kevin Stitt called for eliminating the organization during his State of the State address, saying some eligibility decisions have hurt student athletes. Meanwhile, another proposal, Senate Bill 1890, has been introduced. That bill would dissolve the OSSAA and create a new state-run Oklahoma Athletics and Activities Commission to oversee school sports. The Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board recommended clemency for death row inmate Tremaine Wood in a meeting yesterday, voting 3-2 in favor of not executing Wood. Amanda Bass Castro Alves, Wood's attorney, said that although Wood did participate in a 2001 robbery with his brother Jayton Wood, he did not commit murder. Ronnie Whipf, a 19-year-old farm worker from Montana, was shot and killed during a robbery attempt at the Ramada Inn in southwest Oklahoma City on December 31, 2001. But Tremaine Wood maintains that his brother was the one who pulled the trigger. Castro Alves said they're asking for clemency because Wood was poorly represented by his initial assigned trial defense attorney, who was abusing alcohol while handling at least 100 different cases. Said Castro Alves, quote, Tremaine's death sentence is the product of a fundamentally broken system. Attorney General Gentner Drummond and state prosecutors disagreed with the ruling, stating that Wood is a dangerous criminal who has continued to participate in gang activity and commit crimes while in prison. Governor Kevin Stitt must be the one to officially commute Wood's sentence. As of broadcast time, his office has offered no comment. This is a developing story, so stay tuned into U Central. The federal government is open again today. That's after the House passed a stopgap funding bill last night, and the president signed it shortly after. The reopening is having real-world impacts on Americans. More services are becoming available again with the return of furloughed federal employees. They're set to get back pay, and some experts predict an economic rebound. But for people on Obamacare, the reopening could mean their health insurance costs will more than double, as the bill does not guarantee an extension of expiring subsidies. Democrats are vowing to keep fighting to lower health costs, but the House Speaker says he wants reforms first. It's unclear when flight schedules will return to normal, but SNAP benefits should be available again soon. I'll be there watching. You better believe it. Love the Thunder. What about you?
Oh, always. Shanice?
Of course, I have to cheer on SGA. I know I say that every week, but 35 points? Come on now. It doesn't get better than that. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Emily. She's got a crush over
I
here.
do.
Coming up, the Big Gay Chili cook-off is tomorrow.
And it's fall weather finally approaching. Sam Fraley will have your last look at weather when we come back. Stay tuned.
Thanks, Sam. Well, UCO's Women and BGLTQ Plus Research Center will be having their Big Gay Chili Cook-Off tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the lobby of Thatcher Hall. The cook-off is sponsored by the National Organization for Women. Student organizations and individuals will be competing for best chili recipe. It's $5 for an entry sample of chili and fixings, and then $3 for an additional bowl. Proceeds will go towards UCO's own central pantry. Participants are also encouraged to bring canned goods for a central pantry food drive. Well, I guess that's all the time that we've got for today. It sure was fun. We talked about iguanas and Superman and all kinds of fun stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, for you Central News, I'm Phil Rodriguez.
And I'm Shanice Hopkins. Thanks for watching this edition.
Former Vice President Dick Cheney has died at the age of 84. Cheney served as vice president under George W. Bush from 2001 to 2009. Cheney was also defense chief during the Persian Gulf War under Bush's father, President George H.W. Bush. Politicians across the political spectrum are offering their condolences to the Cheney family, including Democrat House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
It's a secret. Behind me in this beautiful Airstream trailer is Super Secret Donuts, owned by Hawaii transplant Milton Perry, who is the head chef, owner, and proprietor of this wonderful business that makes gourmet donuts with a brioche dough base that absolutely melts in your mouth. He's got all kinds of unusual flavors, from garlic sesame, fig cheese and pear, to sort of more standard pairings like a strawberry crunch or a salted caramel donut that is just unbelievable. We drove all the way up here to Tulsa just to try it. It is more than worth the trip and more than worth waking up for. Perry started frying donuts and testing flavors in his father-in-law's garage in Broken Arrow 10 years ago, using his wife's friends and family as unofficial focus groups. I sat down with him to talk about how he makes the donuts and what's coming in the future. This was a 10-year dream. Now that you're living it, what's the gap between what you imagined and what it actually is, good and bad?
Like I said, if you're bootstrapping a company, you have a lot of ideas that you're like, oh, this actually takes a lot of runway to be able to execute this and that idea or whatever, so it's like the donuts are here and the story is here a little bit, but so much of the brand I envisioned for Super Secret Donuts just has not been fully executed yet. Just because it takes time and it takes money, Over the next year, people will see SSD develop into a more full version of itself, just because things take a little bit of time. And then I would say over the next 5 years, not that we'll be different, but it'll be a much more fleshed out and fulfilled version of what it is now.
Perry says he found a winning dough in brioche, a rich and tender French viennoiserie, which is basically a fancy word that means somewhere between bread and pastry. The brioche dough is a deliberate choice that sets you apart. Walk me through that decision. What does brioche do that other doughs can't?
Brioche has a lot more body to it. Actually, the first gourmet donut that I had was from a Keller restaurant in Yountville called Bouchon. Bouchon's their bakery, and they had a brioche donut, and I tried it, and I was like, this isn't that great.
I could do this better.
I didn't know if I could do it better, but I did think oh, that's interesting. And so I was like, what if I use brioche? Because one thing I recognized from it was it's got so much body. It gives you room to play with these crazier ideas and wild kind of layered flavors without feeling like a sugar bomb. It's the donut can compete with whatever kind of flavors you throw at it. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to do brioche.
Super Secret Donuts is located behind Mother Road Market off of Lewis Avenue, and they're open every Friday through Sunday, 7 a.m. till either noon or sell out, whichever one comes first. So if you want to try these amazing donuts, come on up to the Mother Road Market, find the Airstream in the back, tell Milton that Phil sent you. For you Central News, I'm Phil Rodriguez. It's a unique and fevered atmosphere when you attend UCO-OU hockey, whether you call it Bedlam or the battle for I-35. There's no doubt that these teams feel like they have a lot to prove against one another.
Well, it's the rivalry. It's Battle of I-35. We've been playing each other since the inauguration back in 2006, and they don't like us just as much as we don't like them. They think we're a community college, and they always think we're their little brothers.
Usually some of these games get pretty heated, and I think we were, pretty strong mentally.
Right from the start, they're going. So, yeah, we just got to be ready, weather the storm, and then punch back.
I think it's just experience. I've played in however many of these games, so, I've had my fair share of experience at that. But, it's not easy.
They got some pretty big guys up on forward. And so, yeah, I think, when they're in front of the net, it gets pretty hard. And sometimes when, they get cycling, it's like a fire drill going off. And, we just got to pack the house and then spread out from there.
I think it's just the history for us. You look around, the rink's kind of painted in, blue and gold. So, banners are ours. So I think it's just the history of our program.
Fast, outwork, discipline. It comes down to, character, commitment, compete, just buying into the systems. And, yeah, that's the way we play.
I think we just got to come out hot. We are aware of it. They come out with a lot of pride, a lot of passion early and often. So I think we just got to match that, weather their storm, but we also got to bring our storm. So we got to come out hot and not wait till the third period to play our game.
They got a good hockey team. You know what? They got some good hockey players. They play a solid hockey game. I think we got to get back to keeping it simple on our end, not turning pucks over, getting pucks towards the net, pucks and bodies. I think that's a big thing for us. We just got to go out there and execute, and I don't think it matters what they're necessarily doing. We just got to go out there and execute ourselves.
It was a tough weekend for the Broncos, however, as they dropped both games to their in-state rival, Oklahoma. But they should get another crack at them during the Western Collegiate Hockey League Championship playoff, which will happen in March in Missouri. For U Central News, I'm Phil Rodriguez.
Last Friday, January 29th, was a national day of walkouts and protests across the country. But with winter weather already closing businesses and schools and making travel difficult this week, most Oklahomans opted to protest today instead. Several organizations, including Indivisible Oklahoma, turned out for the first day of the legislative session to make their voices heard. Cindy Alexander, a co-lead of IO, spoke to us about the group's messaging and purpose.
Today we are trying to encourage people to get into our house, the Oklahoma Capitol, and speak to their legislators who are elected to serve them and work for them. Indivisible Oklahoma is a grassroots organization. We have over 8,000 members, and we have been working since 2017 to organize people.
Alexander points out that the Capitol belongs to the citizens of Oklahoma, and that they have a right to know of and to have a say on all bills and legislative actions that come out of the building.
There are bills that will send information to ICE when people who do not have legal status are applying for safety net benefits like food and medical care. We want to point out that is not the Oklahoma standard. The Oklahoma standard is not just for tornadoes. It is to help people who are hungry, to help people who need medical care, and to protect our neighbors.
As the governor prepares to give his final State of the State address on the first day of the legislative session, Oklahomans gather on the Capitol steps to say no more. As a retired veteran named Candace J. said, no more pretending that injustice is neutral just because it's dressed up in procedure. No more begging for rights we were born with. For U Central News, I'm Phil Rodriguez.
UCO's Native American Student Association marched today in support of the MMIP organization. Cameron Estes, Sam Fraley, and I sought out the members to find out more.
Student groups taking part in activism across the UCO campus is a fairly common sight on any given day, especially on the University Quad. But today, the Native American Student Association marched to give a voice to the voiceless.
It is missing and murdered Indigenous peoples. We're trying to raise awareness for our people because they have not been found. A lot of our people have gone missing, and the government chooses to not solve our cases.
According to Oklahoma.gov, Oklahoma has over 200 missing and murdered Indigenous women and 150 missing or murdered Indigenous men, averaging 18 new cases a year.
Just to raise awareness and bring justice to these people.
Black Bear says she wants to cast a light on the situation in order to help.
Show people that this is something that we really stand for.
Members of the organization wear red, said to be the only color that the spirits can see. The MMIP organization says they hope the color will call back the spirits of the murdered so they can be laid to rest.
Our people are sacred. Even though we're not related to most of them, as Indigenous people, we still stand together as Native peoples.
And standing together is exactly what NASA did today, beginning at the Liberal Arts Building and marching down Bowman Avenue to East 2nd Street, where passersby honked in solidarity with the marchers in support. It seems the colors they were dressed in to help guide the spirits also helped bring attention to their cause.